If you understand what's at stake, please ensure my secret is safe with you. I trust you'll respect my wishes as a friend. But don't forget, I will also be watching you like a hawk. Very good.
Oh wait! Now that the panic's over and we've all calmed down, Paimon suddenly remembered something. After all that build-up, our mystery ally never showed up even once!
Huh? Am I imagining things?
So, that close colleague who stayed behind with you? What's he been up to recently?
Don't know, don't care. I get more normal human interaction from hanging out with Bosco 2 than him. Although, now you mention it, he hasn't bothered me in a while. I wonder if...
If he's disappeared without a trace, it's the biggest gift he ever gave to the world. But I somehow doubt that's what's going on. He won't lie low forever. So we'd better stay on guard.
Ah, Lord Sangama Bay. How lovely to see you. I must thank you for the device you provided. It was an enormous help. Would I be right in thinking that it was developed by the Academia?
Why come and ask me when you clearly know already?
I mostly came to thank you.
That's more like it. A little gratitude goes a long way with Lord Sangama Bay. Play your cards right, and you might even stand a chance of becoming my long-term supplier.
The chance to work with such a kind and charitable investor as yourself would be a great honor for the Curatorium.
Huh? Charitable? Who said anything about charity? First time hearing about it.
Let's see. The first plot of land you purchased in Nodcry, your desert interests, and...
Stop! What do you think you're doing? Exposing my investment history!
It's nothing to hide from. They're all perfectly legitimate investments. And some of the land you purchased was with the intent of building a sanctuary? Yes, I heard about that too.
How did you...
You're a curious case, Lord Sangama Bay. You don't like people finding out about your good deeds, do you? But I'm afraid no matter how hard you try to keep things under wraps, where there's a will, there's a way. You did it for Sumeru, didn't you?
It was empty land that was gonna go to waste otherwise. I figured if I built something there, it might at least get some use in an emergency. Disasters are capricious things. They strike without any warning. I've lost family to a disaster before, and I don't want to lose any friends or business partners if I can help it. My elder sister used to dream of finding a sanctuary. Somewhere with plenty of food, water, and medicine. Where everyone could live happy lives. It was something I looked into, but after discussing things with the Dendro Archon, I decided on a more effective strategy. The tech people handled the tech, and Moneybags provided the Mora. It just made the most sense.
It's a pity that so few people know the truth about you. Everyone says that you view everything in terms of Mora, and all you care about is growing your own wealth.
So, what's the problem with that? Everyone wants to be rich. It's human nature. So yes, I love Mora, and it's nothing to be ashamed of.
But surely you have dreams of your own beyond just making Mora.
You don't get it, do you? My dream is to invest in other people's dreams. And, you know, make a nice little slice for myself along the way. Just thinking about it makes me happy. That sweet, sweet sound of Mora.
Thank you.
For the device?
And the pendant.
Oh, that. I was just returning a favor. Don't worry about it.
Seems like we've both been away from home for a very long time.
Yeah. So long that I barely remember what my family even looked like.
That would be your mother, father, and sister?
Yeah, though it's been years since my sister passed away. It's not like I want to forget them, obviously, but memory can be even more ruthless than the most calculating business person. Beyond a certain point, if something isn't helping you, it just gets rid of it. My sister can't help me now. Slowly but surely, her face is fading from my mind's eye. It's become a vague impression.
Not everything will fade. When loved ones pass away, the beautiful memories are the ones that last the longest.
Yeah, that's true. If you ask me, that's the one silver lining in all of it.
Well, that, plus, I'm sure that life is much better now than it was back then.
Oh, absolutely. I have tons of Mora, a big beautiful house, business is booming, and I'm as happy as can be. You've got a lot going for you too. Boss of the Curatorium of Secrets? I'm sure there's plenty of Mora to be made in that line of work.
I appreciate the vote of confidence.
A drink? Or some information? There. Either way, I'd be happy to drink or two.
Or perhaps a room for the night?
How have you been holding up? Any adverse reactions? If you start to take a turn for the worse, make sure you tell me right away.
You don't need to worry about me, Grandmaster. I'm fine. I mean, I barely did anything, so...
What? You're too humble, young man.
You played an indispensable role in the battle for Nodcry. We can't thank you enough for your support. Sometimes, when people praise you, it's because you deserve it. The best thing is to accept it calmly and with grace. It's important to learn how to respond to words of admiration.
Let's do a quick demonstration. Albedo, that was an incredible feat of alchemy. The pressure was on, but you worked flawlessly at lightning speed to get the job done.
Thank you. I can't take all the credit, though. Durin played a big part in forming the alchemical array.
See? Did you catch that? A masterclass in how to take a compliment.
Okay, yeah. I did work pretty hard to help prepare for the battle. No point denying that.
Hey, you guys!
Hey, look who's bounced back. Looking good, traveler.
Seems like you've recovered. You won't need to take any more medication.
Can I get you a drink?
Huh? You know how to order at a bar now? You've sure learned a lot recently.
Handling a drinks order is ridiculously simple compared to alchemy. Don't worry, I'll blend into society yet.
Paimon believes it. You're clearly a fast learner, just like your brother. To be totally honest, though, Paimon didn't quite follow all the details when you first explained the plan to us.
Don't worry, that's completely understandable. Unless you're a student of alchemy, it's hard to grasp the principle and how the process works.
To put it in the simplest terms, we saw how our enemy stole the power of Kuvaki. And that gave us the idea of stealing his power to turn it against him. When facing an enemy you have no hope of defeating, it's best not to engage them in battle. So, instead of looking for a way to overpower him, we decided to help Columbina get strong enough to at least stand up to him in a fight. For this to work, we had to analyze his modes of attack, confirm who his main target was, and make sure that he wouldn't go beyond the range of the alchemical array. For added security, we prepared a total of 4 arrays. But to mitigate the impact of the battle, we identified one location in particular as the ideal spot, which is where the confrontation took place. The alchemical array absorbed his abyssal power. Then Durin processed it to render it usable by Columbina. That power enabled her to do what would otherwise have been nigh on impossible.
What surprised me was that Dainsleif actually agreed to join us. Given his history with Rerir, he had every right to sit this one out. But we're extremely grateful for the decision he made.
It must have been a painful choice to make. But I'm sure that making a decision was far better for him than staying in limbo.
Absolutely. He was torn between two paths, but in the end, he made his choice and stuck to it resolutely. He doesn't strike me as the sort of person who'd stay trapped in limbo for long. Anyway, however you cut it, everyone gave a stellar performance. And now, it's time to kick back and celebrate.
That's the only reason you're here.
Yes. I've thought a lot about it. And I've realized that you, me, and Arlecchino should be friends. I think this is very important. So I felt I had to come and tell you.
Well, this is a new one. I'm so moved. I can't even hold my teacup. If that's all, you can leave now.
Do you not want to be friends with me? Or is it that you prefer being coworkers?
What is this, Columbina? Are you deliberately testing my patience threshold? Right now, my politeness module is active. But if you say another word, I swear I'll shut it down.
If your politeness module was active, wouldn't you say the word please at some point?
Polonia, please see Lady Columbina to the door.
Will you still invite me to your next tea party?
What?
Yes, I think you will. Bye-bye, dear Sandrone.
Last time, the Wild Hunt escorted you out. Would you rather I handled it myself this time? We just wanted to, see how you were doing now that it's all over. Why? Out of concern for my safety? I hope you didn't seriously think that the Rayhir of Solnari would be able to lay so much as a finger upon me, given how prepared I was. Mostly because you kind of helped us out, so we just wanted to check you were okay. Looks like all your robots are fixed, huh? Oh, don't you worry about that. Tea time is already a write-off. The visitor before you managed to kill my appetite. If you're in the mood for tea, go ahead and help yourself. Otherwise, it's going to waste. My coasters are still missing in action, though. Use this notebook instead. Whoa! Pretty hefty notebook. Look at all those calculations. You can ignore those. They're just dumb scribblings. I doodle and write in my free time. Sometimes I remember the distant, dreamlike past. Sometimes I imagine the far-flung future. And other times, I grit my teeth and note down all the crazy nonsense going on in the present. Some people do the crosswords in the newspaper. This is my equivalent of that. Trying to predict the future is like daydreaming, and writing about the present just makes me furious. The past is my favorite. If nothing else, it's already set in stone, so I don't have to rack my brains trying to figure it all out. Huh. Although, having said that, the only vaguely interesting memory in my past is probably that guy they call Lord Artificer. Who else? Pretty much all the mecha in Fontaine are his personal handiwork. Wait, are you saying you know him? Like, personally? As a friend? I mean, I guess we were friendly enough. Yep.
In fact, I'm probably the only normal person left who knew him at all. We used to chat occasionally back when he was still around. Before he passed away, he asked me to destroy all his manuscripts. I honored his request, but I did read through everything first before destroying them. I mean, I couldn't let the genius of Lord Artificer Alain Guillotin disappear like that. Would have been such a waste.
So, that's where the formulas in your notebook are from?
I just told you. Those are my equivalent of crossword puzzles. They're just dumb formulas that I solve for fun when I'm bored. Alain's work was like epic poetry. The formulas in my notebook are just silly little riddles in comparison. Not that there's anything bad about them. I mean, at least, solving those riddles isn't going to hurt anyone. Except me, 'cause I lose a few brain cells in the process. Anyway, while we're on the topic, I might as well tell you about what happened to him and his friends. Alain Guillotin had two close buddies, Renee and Jacob. They spent their childhood years together in the Narzissenkreuz Institute. They were all quite competitive, so there was some rivalry between them, but it was a friendly rivalry. But beneath the friendship and the rivalry ran something deeper, a sense of nostalgia for the past. Unfortunately, childhood would end. The prophecy would come true, the apocalypse would arrive, and the future would never be. A mad dream that would normally only capture the minds of lunatics began to take root in their hearts. A dream of saving the world. And if Renee and Alain had been people of lesser wits, that dream would probably have ended up as something for them to joke about in their older years. But alas, they were some of the sharpest minds around. They nurtured that dream with the full power of their intellect, and it grew into something that ate away at their souls. The first of them to fall under its spell was Renee. Against Alain's wishes, he persisted in experimenting on a mutual friend of theirs to try and save their life. Alain did not approve and parted ways with Renee. It's complicated. Alain wanted to believe that Renee only did what he did for the sake of their friendship. But when he told me about what happened, I could tell he still had some suspicions about Renee's motives. Perhaps the seed that would grow into a nightmare had already sprouted in Renee's mind. Even then, the next time they met, Renee's soul had been completely engulfed by the dream of salvation. His futile attempt to change the tide of fate only resulted in a wave that swallowed up the world, even before the apocalypse came. And although that wave died down eventually, I hear that it just recently came back with a vengeance. As I understand, Renee wanted to live out his dream of salvation once more. But I'm told that the attempted resurgence finally died out for good. At long last, Renee awoke from his deluded dream. Though of course by then it was far too late. What do you think of Renee? Do you admire his transcendent genius? His view that any price was worth paying to achieve the lofty goal of saving the world? Or do you despise him? Dismiss him as an evil madman who wrought havoc on the lives of everyone around him as he pursued his delusional dream? Same difference, really. Just a matter of perspective. What a cop-out. But I suspect you'd have a more incisive and insightful answer if we dug into it further. I don't like fanatics who give up their whole lives for their ideology. Nor do I like fools who let their delusions take control. Maybe I could understand if Renee had just been an ordinary person. But he had a sage-like intellect. And still managed to get himself lost in the labyrinth of his own desires. Anyway, that's enough about Renee. Now, moving on to Alain Guillotin, the Lord Artificer. He managed to put a stop to the first storm whipped up by Renee. But after that, Alain lost his friends and family. To his credit, I suppose, the loss of his family and friends was purely a tragic accident. It's not like Alain sacrificed them for his cause or anything. After that, the only thing supporting his work was the same dream that had dragged his closest friend down to the abyss. But although the desire to save Fontaine drove him to found the Fontaine Research Institute, Alain continued to reject any form of transcendental knowledge or power. He was suspicious and fearful of it, having seen the way it had affected his closest friend. I think that formulas and machines derived solely from human intellect were the only thing that gave him a sense of spiritual comfort. Yet Alain's intellect was simply too great. It barely left him space to breathe in his lifetime. Once he realized that the end of his life was approaching, he finally accepted the truth. The Nazissenkreuz Institute needed someone, and a human being, to see its story through to the end. He quit working on his formulas, trading them in for the fairy tales that had played such a formative role in his childhood, but which he barely touched in his adult life. He told me that the director of the Nazissenkreuz Institute used to read those fairy tales to the children as bedtime stories. Apparently, they worked wonders at sending kids off to sleep. I think that all he wanted at that time in his life was to be able to sleep deeply without being plagued by depression. By that point, nothing else really mattered. At the very end, he laid down to rest in the ruins of the former Nazissenkreuz Institute orphanage, while the Fontaine Research Institute he had founded continued tirelessly with its work. Many years after that, tensions over competing dreams would once again cause a rift, this time between members of the Fontaine Research Institute. But the actions of those fools had nothing at all to do with Alain. And that is the story of two people from the Nazissenkreuz Institute who both wanted to save the world. One went all in on his fantasy of salvation without ever looking back, and ended up calmly sinking to the bottom of the deepest sea. The other sought desperately to burn bright in his life, even though he wasn't sure where he was going. I do sometimes wonder, why is it that people like them have such grand hopes of saving the world? Even the grandest tree starts as a tiny seed. So perhaps, for each of them, their mission to save the world began with a very simple desire: to save themselves. They were young children with friends and family who mattered to them, desires to explore the meaning of life, ambitions to have a successful career. They didn't want to see all of that taken away in one fell swoop. Or maybe they just wanted to find something to anchor themselves within the chaos, to stop them getting quietly swept away by the storms of life. But instead, the search for their own salvation took them down the rocky road laid out by fate. Do you think the desire to save oneself is enough of a justification to try and save the world? The way you said that sounded just like Alain. I asked him the same question back when he was in his prime, putting all of his energy into his work. He gave the exact same answer as you did. No elaboration, just a quick short answer before getting right back to his work. He was always that way. All right, tea time's over. I owe Arlecchino a favor for telling me these stories. I'll have to bring a whole sack of gifts the next time I visit the House of the Hearth. I'm gonna go tinker with Polonia now. You guys can do whatever you want, as long as it doesn't involve interrupting me. Polonia, exit hibernation mode. Begin diagnostics.
Better hold back this time.
No touching! Headbutt! Charge! Yeah! Yeah! Oof! Heads up! Charge! Yeah! So shiny! Gotta steer clear of other people. Time to roll! Hurry up, Brassa! Running late again. Running late again.
Way behind schedule. All hail! Headbutt! Yeah! Right? Yeah! Time to clean up. I must leave no stone unturned. Born of ice and froth. Charge! Access denied. Charge! Ultimate flying kick! Leave it all to me, as a dutiful maid would. Running late again. Get back on track. Hurry up, Brassa! Here I go! Running late again. Gotta steer clear of other people.
again. Kapow!
This should just about do it. Traveler? Hello? I didn't think I'd run into you here. Right. I should have realized. Master Jean told me you'd be here. We just didn't know when you'd arrive. I didn't expect to run into you as soon as I set foot in Nodcry. Yes, the Grandmaster sent you a letter, didn't he? He also sent one back to Mondstadt, telling us all about how you were doing. Of course, all the knights back home are still figuring out how to support you. But the Grandmaster wrote that we shouldn't be hasty and that he already had everything in hand. Yep, the Grandmaster's always reliable when it comes to important business. So when he says he'll handle something, we know we can count on him. But of course, if you run into any trouble, remember that the knights will always be there to help you. Feel free to come look for us whenever. After all, you're our honorary knight, a valued member of our order. That's what Master Jean told me to tell you when I departed from Mondstadt. Huh? Give me a moment. I didn't bring any sweet madame with me, but I do happen to have a bottle of our best cider. Captain Kaya asked me to bring it along. He knew you'd miss it. Guess he was right. Okay, I need a minute. I put it in my backpack and wrapped it in clothes. Oh, here it is. Go on. Have a taste. I did, of course. When I was leaving, the Grandmaster specifically asked me to bring some bottles of our very best dandelion wine for him. At first, Master Jean protested that my main objective on this long journey was to deliver letters to Nodcry, and she'd rather I not overload my luggage. She said someone else could transport it later. But after giving it much thought, I packed 2 bottles of wine for the Grandmaster anyway. Otherwise, he'd be talking my ear off about how wonderful dandelion wine is while waiting for it to get delivered. Oh, right. If you crave fresh sweet madames and steak, do come back and visit the Knights of Favonius' headquarters when you're free. That was what Amber wanted me to tell you. And that's all the messages I have for you. I should get going. Farewell, honorary knight.
If the kids come over again today, I think I'll give them these toys. It was right all along.
Thank you for waiting. I finished checking your adventurer handbook. Here are your commission rewards. We have no other urgent commissions on the books at present. Thank you for all your hard work lately. Perhaps you two could consider taking a vacation.
Amazing! Paimon never thought we'd end up having downtime and not cry. Things were pretty hectic when we first got here. Everywhere you looked, it was either the Wild Hunt causing chaos or the Fatui stirring up trouble. It felt like this whole region was one giant slime in a barrel, ready to go boom at any moment. That's right! Another win for Teyvat's top duo!
Ah, yes. Are you two aware that the Moon Prayer Night is soon to take place?
Oh, yeah! Llama told us that was coming up soon. Wait, why do you mention it, though? Do people in Nasha Town celebrate it, too? Paimon thought it was just for Moon Goddess worshippers.
You're partially right. Most people in Nasha Town just see the festival as an opportunity to do business. They do not concern themselves with the religious element. The festival was first celebrated by the Frost Moon Scions. On this day, they would wear moon prayer blossoms and celebrate the birth of the moon goddess through song and dance. They would also prepare food and handicrafts and give them as gifts to others. Over time, it became Nodcry's most lively festival.
Oh, sounds like fun! Great! Well, in the meantime, since Catherine doesn't have any commissions for us, let's focus on some personal business instead. When we first got here, you mentioned that this was where your spaceship landed? We didn't get to follow up on it at the time, because we got wrapped up in that whole rare air situation, but now we can finally start investigating it properly. Well, there's a saying Paimon's heard around these parts, which goes, if you lift up a rock, you'll find something you weren't looking for. By that logic, you'll never find what you're looking for while you're searching, but the moment you stop looking, it'll jump right out at you. Could be worth a try though, right? Anyway, Paimon suggests we focus on other stuff we want to do for now, and just keep an ear out for spaceship-related intel as we go. What's wrong? You look super serious all of a sudden. Huh? Paimon gets why you'd be concerned about Columbina, but what does the doctor have to do with anything? Oh, that's true. And now that you mention it, we're definitely overdue for a showdown with the Fatui. It is weird that he hasn't shown himself this whole time. What could he be up to? True. Paimon would much rather deal with Marionette anyway. She says the meanest things, but when it comes down to it, she doesn't seem like a bad person. Maybe it's the pressure of being a Fatuse? Especially as a Harbinger. Does she feel like she's gotta act tough to keep up appearances or something? But then, every time we headed out with Rarier, she always wound up having to repair Polonia and her other robots. That's gotta sting. Losing face always hurts more for people who care a lot about their image. She's probably still furious about it. What? Relax! She's not even here! Huh?
What's the matter?
Oh, nothing. Sorry, we'll be on our way now. Where are we again? Oh yeah, Columbina? Right, yeah, let's go see Columbina. You won't snitch on us, will you?
I'm not entirely sure what you're talking about. But rest assured, I protect client and adventurer confidentiality as a matter of principle.
Phew! That's That's a relief. Paimon does not want to get an earful from her.
I'm not
Phew!